Hello everybody, this is Blanca, and today I have a very special guest with me, Melody Biringer.
Hello.
Great to have you, Melody.
Fun to be here with you finally.
Yeah, finally. Melody and I met 5 years ago here in Amsterdam, in a beautiful loft in the Jordan. 5 years ago, and it was a very special day for her, but she will tell you later. A little introduction of her, for the people who don't know her. She is a very talented entrepreneur. She has started so many companies, and the latest venture that we're going to present here today is the WIT Regatta here in Amsterdam. It's happening next week, and we're going to put all the data here below. But we're going to go back to 5 years ago to introduce her to you. So, tell us, where were you at that point? It was the top of the world at that point.
5 years ago, I was on top of the world. I had just written my book called CRAVING Success, and it was about the 20 businesses I've had in the last 30 years. And I wrote a book about like my ahas and uh-ohs and my lessons learned, and I literally thought I finally made it. Life was good. I rented a 3,000 square foot loft of my dreams here in Amsterdam. I was coming over here doing business over here. You were speaking at my events. Life was good. And then I got 2 phone calls that put me to my knees. And those calls, they were calls to basically say that my business wasn't working. It was, I was in over 20 cities around the world with my CRAVE business, and I literally thought I was doing well financially, but I wasn't paying attention that close, and so the calls were like, you owe me a lot of money and you're 90 days behind. What happened? And one of your partners has stolen your brand and taken all your money in that city. I was in such a magical moment. I was on such a high. I wasn't prepared for, oh yeah, your life isn't really working. So I went back to Seattle and just crawled in bed for the next year. I had to run my businesses still, but it was really hard. And then I turned fucking 50. Can I say that?
You're welcome.
The world puts you in a different bucket when you turn 50. You don't know it until you turn 50. And I literally thought I was all washed up. I'm done. No more creativity. It's over for me. I was always known as a young entrepreneur. Now I'm not young anymore, and I didn't make it yet. So that was really depressing. Yeah.
I find it really interesting that you say, my life didn't work because your life is entrepreneurship. I find it really intriguing. What do you mean by that?
Well, it means financially. I've tried so many things over the years, and I've only been successful at a couple little things. You know, I never thought I would hit it out of the ballpark. I'm really good at creating a brand, and it looks like I have a really big business, but financially I hadn't figured out how to make that work. I was okay for a couple periods of my life. I was okay, but in fact, I was really okay 5 years ago when I was renting the loft of my dreams and having dinner parties, and life was good. The cash flow was good, and then it stopped. And then I had to be creative, and I couldn't. It's really hard to be creative when you're down. Mm-hmm. When you're on the downward spiral, it just keeps going down. Mm-hmm. And it took a year. It just took a year of I had to feel sorry for myself. Mm-hmm. And finally, I started digging back out. I created a list called the CRAVE list, where I had put down several years earlier, I wrote down 100 things I crave, because my business is called the CRAVEcompany, and I knew who I was. I spent a lot of time figuring out who I was, but during that time I went down, I forgot everything about who I was. So I had to kind of slowly dig back out, one by one, 24 hours at a time, to come back to me. I call it kind of digging back to me. Who am I? I had to remember who I was. I have this Fitbit, and I track myself all the time. And I had to track who I was. I literally put my 100 things on a Google document, and I tracked it so that I could remember who I was. And then I just started coming up with some good ideas again. And
what was that
baby
tipping
steps.
point? What was the moment when, in the darkest hour, what made you?
There was no tipping point. It was baby steps, 24 hours at a time, slow, dig out slow. There was no aha, it's good. I didn't wake up one day and say, okay, it's all good. And in fact, it's 6 years later now, and I'm good. But it was 5 years. It was knowing for the next 5 years, I'm going to have to pay back from the past. So everything I come up with for the next 5 years is going to go to pay for the past. That's depressing, because then I'm at zero after 5 years. But I don't know. I got it in my blood. I'm definitely an entrepreneur, and I know how to live 24 hours at a time. It's not fun sometimes, not knowing where you're going to eat tomorrow. But I am a very creative, resourceful person. So I just started getting creative and digging back out. I came up with an idea called Urban Campfire, which was getting women on stages to speak about how they went down and came back up. And that gave me hope. It gave me an exciting project to work on. I didn't know if it was going to work, but I dreamed it up, and took 6 months of working on it, and 500 women came. And so that was kind of my first step of okay, I'm back. I got it in me still.
Yeah. But it was huge, the urban campfires. You did it in many cities, talking about vulnerability, getting women to talk about vulnerability. That was not an easy task.
Well, it's pretty easy to get women to talk about vulnerability, but you have to get one layer off of women to do that. And how you do that is if we each one of us tells our own stories, then other people they'll feel more comfortable to tell their stories, and that's what I did. I told my own story, and then people started telling me their stories, and then that's how relationships are made, and that's how connections happen. That's how the world turns. And so now I'm on a mission to make sure everybody has friends and creates connections with each other, because I know the value of friendships and relationships, and if we don't have those, life is pretty lonely. When you're in a downward spiral, you need your friends to kind of bring you back up.
Yeah. So was that an element for you with these urban campfires, part of what brought you even higher?
Yeah, I mean, I did that for about 3 years. I went all over to different cities and had these urban campfire events. I learned a lot about people and what they're dealing with in life. And I started group therapy because everybody would cry at all these events I did, and I wasn't ready for it. I'm not a therapist, so I was kind of in shock when I found out what people are going through. I thought what I went through was hard, and it's nothing compared to what so many people are going through. But yet, people just keep getting back up, and they're so resilient. Women in particular are so resilient. And they just keep getting back up. That's so inspiring to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And from the urban campfire to the regatta, how did that transition? How did that?
I live in Seattle, so I live in the next Silicon Valley, where Amazon and Microsoft and Google and Facebook, and they're all moving in and building high rises. And I just was looking around at what's going on with women in tech and the whole ecosystem, and I wanted to bring more women into tech, and I'm the one to do it because I'm a good connection engineer, I call myself. And I like to design events to bring people together and get real vulnerable and to meet each other. And I feel like women in tech need me right now. So I did an event in Seattle. 1,000 people came this last year. And because I love Amsterdam, I put my toe in the water, and we're sitting here in this fabulous place right now called Circle, out in the Zuid in the south of Amsterdam, where all the high rises are. And we're out of the little cute center of town, and this is kind of where everybody's working. And I came out here and talked to Circle about hosting this event here, and they were very excited about it. And so last year when I came here, they said, let's go for it, and we'll be your mothership base camp. And I was so excited that I started with them as one baby step. And then I went to Google up the street and EY up the street. And I just started talking to all these high rises. I'm like, who's doing business around here? And pretty soon, a year later, I'm putting on a whole week's worth of events. We're going to have 30 events next week. All kinds of leadership, tech, career building, diversity events. It's going to be fantastic. And we have men involved too. It's called Women in Tech, but we have men male speakers, and men are coming to the event. Very excited about that.
Tell us about for who is this event? But who of you should be coming?
Yes, it's an event for all professional women and men. We need everybody in the conversation. So what I love to do is get people out of the silos of their life and mash together and meet new people and find your tribe. Because we're all living separate lives in our own little world. We live here, we work here, we only hang out with the people that we hang out with most of the time. So coming to an event like this, I've designed it so that you will meet people that don't look like you, don't act like you, don't work in the same industry as you, but yeah, we could really share a lot with each other and share our collective wisdom with each other. And especially, the whole world is tech, is moving to tech. Robots are going to be running the world in 5 years from now, right? Yeah. Maybe less. And so we need to pay attention to that and really know what's going on. And we need more women. We need more women rising to the top and getting on boards and being VPs and being CEOs and running things. And so we need to talk about that.
It's very, very relevant and very important for everybody.
Yeah.
For everybody. Yeah, it's very powerful.
Yeah.
So to close the conversation, I really would like to get you close to your intuition, but the audience still needs to hear from you. For all these women who are listening behind the camera, what else do they need to hear from you?
I think that we as women especially, we're not happy unless we're moving forward. So if we can just wake up every day and know that we can take baby steps forward to our dreams. First of all, dig deep, figure out who you are, and every day take baby steps towards those dreams, because life is a game. Let's live it good. Let's get some friends, have fun together, make some deeper connections than we already have, and enjoy life. And keep it simple. Keep it simple. Simple is sexy.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
thanks for
very
having
much.
me.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here.